what is going on? So I don't normally do this, but this deserves a mini-sode. A diet salt video, if you will. There's only going to be 2 matches. It's going to be just these 2, just because, one, I don't really have a clan, so I can't really share these unless I record, and 2, it's probably better that I do record, so that way you can explain my thought process, as well as probably my opponent's thought process on this. So, if you couldn't already tell from the username, rush me, I dare you. Yeah, I really don't think, like, looking at their, tower loadout, they were definitely having the mind of going late game. But there's 2 things to know. 1, they used their eco boosts way too early. Way too early, for starters. And number 2, they tried using knockout thinking that was gonna work. It didn't. I believe they only used knockout twice. Well, here's the first one. I choked a little bit. I sold the raw ninja because they knocked out the bottom ninja rather than the top. So I kind of sort of choked and lost a little bit of lives, but it's really not that big of a deal because I managed to glue storm and, not immediately die to yellows. And then I was like, wait, why didn't I send a lead? And then, they just pop out of dirt lane out of thin air, so, I mean, I guess that kind of fits their name now, rush me, I dare you. So, this entire time of them ecoing, I was not necessarily, hesitant of setting up because of the fact that they had knockout. It's the fact of, why didn't they send anything else to rush? I don't know, camo LEDs, for instance. I mean, then again, all I had to do is just upgrade the village, and if they didn't have the village upgraded, I mean, I could have just, put down a super monkey, and if that was the case, I mean, I could have still blue stormed, but anyways, so right here, I also make a second choke. I was trying to see if I can get the village and the farmer, so that way the farmer could reach all of the factories, but I was like, fuck it, it's not worth it. Right here, they overset up, and I mean overset up, and I'm really not sure why. I had no intentions of rushing them at all. The fact that they had Dartling Ninja kind of told me that they would probably go late game. Now, right here, I get a temple set up, but I don't fully commit to going to the temple yet, because I see no reason to get temple this quickly. So, it basically just continues as normal. We're both ecoing. I mean, sure, they have the better eco because they eco a lot better than I did. I mean, eco really isn't everything when it comes to Bananza matches. I mean, yeah, sure, having decent eco is good. It's just that just because you have more than an opponent doesn't mean that you're going to win, is what I'm trying to say. And by the way, they get a Ray of Doom, also completely pointless because they really didn't need to get Ray of Doom, but yet they still chose to, so I guess that's cool. Now, I was thinking, because they said, rush me, I dare you, and this is the part, what I thought, is that I was like, okay, they're gonna go Dartling Ice, and then I was like, oh, they're gonna just go a boring Dartling Ice strategy. No, it wasn't until they set down glue, which is right here, is when I realized, oh yeah, they're gonna go late game by doing a triple stall. So, I really don't know exactly what their thought process was, but after that they set up the ice, ninja, and glue, okay, and it won't be much longer. Oh, yeah, it was right here when I was selling my factories, because I thought I was gonna rush, but I was actually just getting BIAs. They knocked out the Sun God because they thought, oh, well, he's probably gonna just set up a temple. No. You knocked out the wrong tower for starters. Secondly, you rushed way too early. Way too early. B, you also rushed at someone who had more BIAs and more factories than you because you had to use balloon eco. So, your rushing this early was counterintuitive. And because I was winning this rush, by the way, it may not look like it, but I was, they rage quitted. At first I thought they were going to DC stall, thinking that that would do something to make them win. But no, they flat out rage quitted. They flat out rage quitted because their rush was failing. And so, yeah, they lost. Now, had they not rushed and was actually a smart player that uses Ninja, Glue, Ice, and Dartling, okay, this could have gone extremely late game, for starters. They would have definitely won because they had the better stall than I did. I got unlucky and had Ninja, but they had the triple stall. They had Ninja Ice, which is quarter, and then Glue, which is, I believe it reduces it by 33%, something like that. But anyways, that will do it for this match. I got one more match, and oh boy, is this match a good one. Let's get right into that. Okay, before we start this match, here is 3 pointers about this match. One, this person was a gold, silver, prestige. I believe that's top 1000. They literally had the same badge as me, basically. Number 2, this is a Bananza match with Cobras enabled. So, I wasn't aware that Cobras were enabled. I mean, it really doesn't change anything. But it was the username is what caught me off guard and thinking, oh, they're going to be a toxic person and they're going to use a cheat strategy. Well, sure enough that, yeah, they did do a cheat strategy, as you'll see here shortly. But it was the fact that they had the username I'm not a neat dude was what tipped me off in saying, yeah, they're probably going to be a toxic player. Now, I'm kind of going to be a hypocrite by saying, you know, never judge a username by its cover kind of thing. They could be not a neat dude, but, you know, have tier 0, be, you know, just a default player, but just have a really rude name. But who knows? But anyways, I'm gonna play this match on normal speed, and they start with Cobras. And I've been trying this cheese strategy involving price gouge. So, the tree strategy here is when you use price gouge. By the way, they use eco choke, and I kind of figured they would use eco choke. Like, I swear, like, it's like I either A, seen it coming, or B, like, I mean, I see this a lot, and Bananza, when Cobras are enabled, they'll set up a lot of Cobras, and then kind of, like, cheese it, and, you know, send my gods as quickly as possible. Well, with Price Gouge, I made it to where they only sent BFBs. But anyways, they start setting up Cobras, and I use Price Gouge to make it harder for them to set up Cobras. Now, it sort of worked, because, I mean, they still got a lot of Cobras down. It's just, they weren't able to fully pull off their strategy. But anyways, I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. The reason why I was balloon ecoing, by the way, is because this is one of the many counters to eco choke, by the way, is that even though that you've eco choked someone and you don't get money per turn, even if you balloon eco, you'll still get more money than what you were choked previously. And if you leave the bananas out and have a 0-1 banana farm, then it's not that big of a deal. So right here is when he starts flooding with Cobras, and the wired funds is actually helping him out a lot by getting eco. Now, I could have had eco choke, and that would have been a lot easier, but at the same time, I really don't think that would have worked out. Now, here's the other thing. Because that they had a lot of Cobras, and they also had village tech, which also didn't surprise me because that's really common. So I was like, okay, well, they're going to start adjusting quite rapidly, as you can see. I did a little bit of misclick on upgrading, but I managed to get at least several Glaive Lords, because when you have that many ceramics that quickly, you need something to be able to shred that fast, because more is coming. So I glue stormed here, because at this point, I'm gonna slow this down a little bit, because it was at this point, they started sending Moabs at round 15, and I was like, oh yeah, that's not gonna be that big of a deal because I had Ninja. Now, I had to sell a couple of NGs to make this happen because I just had so many fucking turrets block my way. So, they had Lightning Bolt because they were slowly selling Cobras just so that way they can, you know, actually rush. But the problem is that they made themselves extremely vulnerable. The only thing that's saving them is Maelstrom, but at this point, they're just basically watching my screen because they want to make sure I die, which doesn't really happen because thank God for Big Balloon Slow, because this is a short map, and I knew that this was going to happen. So here they send rainbows. I never saw the rainbows because the traps kind of slurped it up. They Maelstromed. They sorted the mortar for that rainbow thing. And because I defended their rush, just as I sent Camo Pinks to kill them, they forfeited and auto-left. They didn't even say GG, they didn't even have any emote, they just flat out auto-left. And I was just hysterical, because A, I wasn't expecting to actually win this match because of how many Cobras was able to offensive push and or balloon adjust, and B, it was an ungodly amount of microing to being able to have Glaive Lord, because it ultimately just made me feel like I was playing Speed with Fire at this point, because you got to think about what Glaive Lord can actually pop, and it actually does take about 2 to 3 Glaive Lords right near each other to actually pop ceramics, and especially pop them quick enough. But this is actually probably the most useful strategy against defending against Cobra gimmicks, is going NFE, specifically having a balloon trap as quickly as possible, because you don't know when the adjustment comes, but when it comes, oh, you'll know when you start seeing ceramics start pouring in from the AI. So you got to be able to have that trap ready and have a trap on both ends, both the start of the map and the end of the map, no matter where it is or how it is, because they can still send balloons, and if your traps aren't collected in time, and that's a little bit of micromanaging, like if your traps aren't slurping up them balloons, then they'll go to the next trap, and if you're not micromanaging, you'll just drop. But the fact that I backhanded someone that was A, toxic, B, tried to use a Cobra cheese strategy in Bananza in White Wastelands, by the way, it just made it that much more satisfying. And it was just pure bliss. So I hope you all enjoyed that match. I really do. And I'll see you all in the next one, and I'll have a full-length Salt video coming soon, as well as a new series, hopefully, in the near future. But that'll do it for now. I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.